Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. ActionSA says the ANC-led government's stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine could have negative consequences for the country. The party says it's now clear that South Africa is in fact tacitly supporting Russia. I'm now joined by ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba to elaborate. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Mashaba. Thank you for your time. The South African government has been taking the so-called neutral position regarding Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I mean, you have some interesting thoughts around the stance you believe government is taking.
Well, yes, thank you, and good afternoon to the listeners. I think the ANC government should not really take us as fools or the people of the world. I think they are indirectly, really, obviously, in support of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And unfortunately, with very dire consequences for us. I'm sure you're aware, late last week, the U.S. House of Representatives have already made the pronouncement, actually wanting to review bilateral trade relations, which are today in favor of South Africa for many years. And unfortunately, if this proposal is accepted by Congress, we're in big trouble because the direct cost to South Africa is something in the region of $6.5 billion in our favor. And what is South Africa getting from Russia? I don't really believe that the ANC government is acting in the interest of South Africa. They're trying to really appease their relationship with the Russian Communist Party. And communism is not really good for any nation, including the Russians themselves. How can they expect the communism to really be good for South Africa? It is for that reason, for us as ActionSA, we really openly expressing our concern as South Africans that will really have a serious consequences out of their actions.
We also know that South Africa abstained from another United Nations vote against Russia while hosting Russia at a controversial maritime drill, which was also taking place around KwaZulu-Natal. Is that also an indication that further draws you to your outcome?
Well, I think that's what has drawn the American House of Representatives' decision. This drill with Russia and China, and South Africa's abstinence from the vote in the United Nations is actually saying to the world that South Africa is on the side of Russia, when majority of civilized nations all over the world, they are against the invasion of the sovereignty of Ukraine. So for South Africa to stand on the fence, and actually it's not really standing on the fence, they are indirectly supporting Russia's invasion, which unfortunately will be to the detriment of South Africans. This is the time when South African government should be focusing on creating employment opportunities for our people, not really focusing on wars where South Africa has got absolutely nothing to gain, but actually pay a very, very serious price. As I'm saying, is $6.5 billion in our favor. If the U.S. House of Representatives actually succeed in getting this piece of legislation through, unfortunately, there'll be dire consequences for South Africa. I'm sure you saw already this morning, I saw a report, the U.S. government already warning their citizens in South Africa and those who are intending on traveling to South Africa to store up. Now you can imagine if you're an American citizen wanting to come and spend money, coming on a holiday in South Africa, your government is warning you about the impending issues with load shedding and so forth. Russians right now, they don't even have money themselves in their own country to really cater for their own basic needs. So we need, unfortunately, we need, whether we like it or not, we need American dollars into this country. This was demonstrated by our own president, the way he loves the US dollars. He keeps them in his mattress, not even putting them in banks. So what I'm trying to say is the US dollars are crucial for the economic development of our country.
And as you speak about the financial standing, a lot of reaction has come from South Africa being grey-listed, some saying that it was inevitable because South Africa has been warned constantly. What are your thoughts around that?
Well, that's really very, very sad. I mean, these are some of the things that makes me extremely angry because, for I got into politics by accident because I felt, you know what, I'm not really running away from my country. Let me use the current constitution before ANC interferes with it, like what happened to ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe, to really save my country. But now look at what happened on Friday. We are now grey listed. We really treated like all countries where there's no rule of law. And can you really blame the world from really treating us this way? We're a lawless country. Right now, I'm fighting a case of a Nigerian in South Africa illegally involved in serious crimes, including hijacking of South African people's properties. And our courts are giving this person bail. I mean, how do you explain something like this? These are things that unfortunately will lead the world to not really trust us. When you have a president of the country who brings in US dollars in cash, puts them under mattresses, where you have 84 people being killed violently in a country on a daily basis. Honestly, we can't blame the world, but blame ourselves. So until such time that South African can focus on come 2024, we must remove this criminal enterprise called ANC from government.
What are your thoughts on the allegations made by departed Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter? I mean, he has been under fire since making those allegations.
Well, I think if ANC actually believes that Andre is lying, why don't they lay criminal charges against him? Let them not really threaten, because that will really be an opportunity for Andre to reveal everything. Because when you report anything against the ANC, I've got practical experience when I was the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg. 35 billion rands worth of fraud and corruption in the city of Johannesburg, involving senior members of ANC. Reported these matters, including to President Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm sure I shared this with South Africa on numerous occasions, where the NPA does not want to really prosecute these people who are involved in crime. The guy who was my chief of staff, Michael Berman, who is now our national chairperson, wrote a book about it called Accidental Mayor. People are there and the names are there, but no consequences. Now, if the ANC believes that the Reuters was wrong, then let them lay charges against him, because Andre himself did make mention of the fact that he laid criminal charges against some of the people, and the following day they are out, because obviously our criminal justice system is captured. So let's see if it comes from the ANC. If the ANC believes that the Reuters has actually damaged their image and their reputation, let them use the course. More especially, they know they are in charge of the criminal justice system.
One professor from the Wits School of Governance has said that the Reuters' rushed exit from Eskom is proof that government targets those who flag corruption. What do you think about that?
Well, how many people are being killed in this country for being whistleblowers? Let me share something with you. 2 weeks ago, I received a message on SMS, someone threatening to kill me. I went to lay criminal charges at Sandton police station. Obviously, I received the message at the airport in Cape Town just before boarding the plane. So obviously, the blessed place to lay charges is here in Sandton where I live. I went to Sandton police station, laid criminal charges, gave the statement under oath. Few days later, I'm told the case has been referred to Cape Town. Few days later, last week I was in London. I received a message from the warrant officer in Cape Town that the matter has been referred to the provincial office of the SAPS in the Western Cape. What does this matter got to do with the Western Cape? A day later, I received an email from someone from SAPS. Asking me questions which are contained in my statement. This really shows you the seriousness of how the police in this country are actually dealing with cases of whistleblowers. I'm really one of those South Africans being threatened. So easy for the police. to trace, because I have the number of the person who sent this message saying that I'll be killed, I must leave politics. And I just want to send a message to them. I'm not leaving politics until such time that we have democratically removed the ANC. So whether ANC is part of this nonsense that's really happening in this country, I'm the last South African to really be threatened by them.
And that's quite telling. I mean, looking at that process and, being moved from pillar to post. So as you and I speak, are you saying that you have no idea what's happening to the case or whether there is a case to begin with?
Well, one thing what I'm saying is I received an SMS, someone saying that I must leave politics, otherwise I'm going to be killed. I'm at the airport in Cape Town, we were just about to board. So as I boarded from the airport, I went straight to Sandton police station, laid a criminal charge against this particular person, because I don't know who the person is, but the phone number is there. The police today, with the technology, they are capable of actually tracing the person who sent this message. Now they are trying to really get me to run from pillar to post, sending the case to Cape Town. Cape Town, it goes to the province. Once it gets to the province, whoever is investigating the case, before even reading my statement under oath, it wants me to start all over again. And I made it clear to them. I said, look, if you don't want to investigate this case, then please don't waste my time. Everything all the questions that you are asking, they are contained in the statement under oath that I've given. So if I said, you decide, if you don't want to investigate this case, that's fine. But one thing for sure, people of South Africa will know. If anything happens to me, the South African police services must take the responsibility.
Yeah. Did you think that you being moved from pillar to post was deliberate, or perhaps just indicating and really exposing the reality of what happens to some cases being reported to the police when people's lives are in danger?
I think it's both. Sometimes it's because you must understand the leadership of SAPS right now is a very compromised, to a large extent, very compromised. Firstly, and secondly, obviously, they can do it deliberately. So I think it's both. I can really say, look, people who are running our police services, they have got no clue what they're doing, including the Minister of Police. And sometimes, obviously, what happens, they just really ignore cases. So it's a combination.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, but I'm wishing you the best there. Hopefully someone will come back to you with something that really just makes a lot of sense, an investigation, and perhaps someone being arrested here. Really wishing you the best there. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Herman Mashaba from ActionSA. Speaking to us there about some of the remarks on his personal account, his life being threatened, and his experience at the police station, and of course speaking about the bigger politics in the country.